Hi again, everybody. Before we go ahead and put Serena back in her box until Halloween, I thought we would take a look at her partner in crime, Vincent. Now, I got both Serena and Vincent here from Grandin Road back in 2012 after Halloween. I got them at the 50% off mark. And they were my first life-size figurines. As life-size as 5.5 feet can be. But I was pretty excited to get them. I got them 50% off was, they retailed $100 each. So I got them for $50 each, which at the time I thought was a bargain. But, you know, as the benefit of hindsight, I'm not so sure. They're not bad figurines. They're fun, but they have a lot of limitations, which we're going to see. So I want to go ahead and put Vincent together with you, and we'll take a look at him more up close. Now, he does come on the same sort of stand as Serena. It's this sort of Christmas tree stand, which means just like her, he's going to be very wobbly, as there's no real way to secure these to the ground. So unless you're using him inside somewhere, you know, you might have a bit of an issue with him not staying in place as you want him to. I have used him outside pretty much every year. Usually with Serena, I'll have her peering out a window or something. But with Vincent here, I've used him in my displays as an executioner, as a vampire, just as an all-around creepy guy. So let's go ahead and stick him on his wobbly little stand here and take a look. Now, before we do that, I just want to point out a few things about him. Like, one of my problems with Serena was that her plastic face gets scuffed very easily. His face is more foam. I mean, it's got quite a bit of give here, so he's not going to scuff up. I really like that. But he does still have the hard plastic claw-like hands, making that a little bit nicer. Now, to stick him on his stand, he does have some pants here, so we pretty much have to reach up his crotch here to try and find his... Got to be very careful with my word choices here. You know what, let me just stop right there. I'm just going to stick him on the stand. How's that? All right. My hand is very wide, so it's kind of hard. I just need to stop. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Now to turn him on, oh my God. We are just going to flip over the cape that he comes with. And he does have a battery pack up here. Now, as I was pulling him out of storage, I couldn't help but notice he still had that little yellow pull here tab thing on it where, you know, you pull it out so that the batteries start working. So I can tell you, today's the first time I've ever turned him on since 2012. I did turn him on just briefly a moment ago, so I know that he works. Just like Serena there. You know, I hadn't used her since well, I don't know. I probably used her at some point. But point being, the batteries still work after all these years, so that's pretty impressive. His eyes do the same sort of slow blinking that she does. So that's kind of cool. Now his body, I mean, the arms can be posed just a little bit. He's got this cape that can drape around him. Now, I'm going to just stick him up here on the table. Ooh, he does seem a little bit taller than Serena. But what I wanted to point out was his pants here. You know, there's not really an option. I suppose if you, well... with the stake that runs through the middle, first of all, you can see it, and that's kind of bothersome. But, you know, they just sort of end with pants on the ground. There's no option to really have a boot or something here. There's no way to really fill out his legs. These are a little bit better than I had actually remembered, because I hadn't realized it's got, well, when I put him back on the ground, I don't know if you can see him in the frame there, but there is a foam piece around his hip that forms a circle, so it gives the hips a little bit more body. But, you know, it just looks so unrealistic with the legs. Let me just move this cape to make sure you can see that the legs just sort of end. That bothers me immensely. All right. But putting him back down, he's held up extremely well over the years. Like I said, I use him outside every year. He's still a little bit filthy from being outside. But you know, he's got a little cloak. He's a good prop, actually. You know, I hate the blinking lights, but, you know, getting used to them, I suppose. You know, he's got some shoulder pads in there to give him some body. I'm going to pull the camera a little bit closer so we can take a close-up look now. How about that? Okay, he does, as you can see, stand just a little bit taller than Serena, so I apologize if he wasn't completely in the frame there. Here's his face. He's a vampire, if I didn't point that out before. But, you know, I kind of just use him as a creepy, cloaked figure. He makes a good executioner. Usually I will just take the rope and wrap it like a rope of a guillotine that I've made. I'll show you that in some future videos probably too. But I'll just wrap it around his little hands. Again, you're always going to have a problem with those bases always being visible. Definitely ruins the illusion. So if you can stick him behind something, it's probably a better option. Sorry about that light down there. So there we go. You know, he is a good prop if you're going to have him just standing around, you know, looking pretty, just like Serena. But, you know, if you want to actually use him as something, you know, it's a little disappointing. He doesn't move or anything, and you kind of see his base. But, you know, again, you stick him behind something, and he makes good atmosphere. Other than that, there's not a whole lot good to say about him. But there's not a whole lot bad to complain about either. So, you know, the materials have held up after all these years of going in and out, so I really can't complain. And you know, if you're more creative than I am, maybe you can find a way to make him seem a little bit more animated, maybe with some strobe light effects or something like that. I don't know. If you have more ideas of how you would display Vincent here or even Serena, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, we'll be taking a look at some of my other props and DIY projects in the upcoming videos, so be sure to be subscribed if you want to follow me along with those. And that's it for today, so I'll see you around. Happy haunting, everyone.